Okay, so again, we're going to subtract 12 from both sides in order to get the isolate the variable by itself. So that means m. We're going to combine a positive 10 and a negative 12 together. So my final answer is -2. And always, as always, remember we can always check our answer. I'm not going to do that tons just because I'm pretty confident that I'm going to get the right answer. But if we're not confident, if we go -2 plus 12, does that equal 10? And we have 2 negatives and 12 positives, and so that means that is going to equal 10. So that does check out. So we can always go back and check our answer to see if we got it. Okay? So our first two examples are just going to be problems where we could just have to add or subtract. So over here, we're subtracting 9, so that means we need to add 9 to both sides. So we're going to add 9. So that means those are going to cancel. We're left with G. We're going to combine a positive 9 and a negative 2. That's going to give me a 7. Okay. In 3 and 4, we're dealing with multiplication and division. So again, this hopefully is just a refresher of getting that variable isolated. So we're taking -7 times y. So to undo that, we're going to divide by -7, and we're going to divide by -7. So we divided because -7 divided by -7, that's going to cancel out, and we're going to have y. And then we have to figure out what 91 divided by 7 is. Today, 91 divided by 7 is 13. So remember here we have a -91 divided by a -7, so two negatives are going to make a positive. So again, that's the simple things that happen. Hey, that's a good idea, Eli. I appreciate that. Actually, if we all take 10 seconds to do that, can you just crease your card at the bottom and fold it up so I can see who names are? That's actually to help me out. If you take that name card on your desk, you don't fold it, so put a fold in it so I can see who you are. Perfect. Again, this is the monotony of the review here. So again, we're taking my variables divided by 9. To undo that, we're going to do the opposite, divide by 9, which is going to be multiply by 9. So we're going to take both sides times 9. So again, we did that, so those will cancel out. We're left with an A equals -36. Okay, here's where it can get a little bit mucky. We're doing 2/3, so again, there's a multiplication problem, we can divide like we always do. However, in this case, we typically want to multiply by the reciprocal, because that's the same thing as division. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 3/2. And we're going to multiply both sides by 3/2. So again, to get rid of the fraction, we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. So our 3's cancel, our 2's cancel, and sure enough, we're left with that variable of x. So now it's just taking 10 times 3/2. It's your preference. We could go ahead and multiply that out, and we're talking about 30/2, which is going to simplify into 15. If you want to, the 2 goes into the 10 5 times. 5 times 3 is 15, bless you. Okay, so again, it's your choice on how we do this. Okay. My goal, I don't want to say I'm going to whip through notes, but I would really like to have is a good chunk of class time that you can get your homework done and don't have to worry. I mean, granted, you got all those online days that you need to fill it up with, I suppose, something, but I still like to have a good chance to get a lot done. So I just, if I move too fast, then let me know and I will throttle back. All right, so we're going to multiply by the reciprocal. The reciprocal of 4/9 is going to be 9/4. So all we're doing is going to flip the numbers to the opposite side. The 9's and the 4's cancel, so we're left with a W. Here, the 4 goes into the 8 twice, so that's going to give me 2 times 9, which is going to give me an 18, and then always keep track of your negative signs. There's a negative sign inside of that one. All right, Landon, what's my reciprocal here? Okay, we're going to have a negative, true, and then we're going to reciprocate this, so negative 5, 6. Awesome job. Okay, so there we go. We got 5, 6. So the 5's cancel, the 6 cancels, my negative signs cancel as well. So that means I'm only left with k. But that was, again, multiplying by a negative 5, 6. Six goes into 12 twice. 2 times negative 5 is a negative 10. Makai, you know my reciprocal here? Yep, you are good. Negative 2 over 1. So again, your 2's cancel, your 1's cancel, your negatives cancel, and so the only thing we have is that m. But I had to multiply by a negative 2 over 1. So again, this is just negative 9 times negative 2, which is going to give me a positive 18. Okay, so we're kind of rolling through on the those are my one steps as far as multiply, divide, add, subtract, and then we had to do the reciprocal thing. Okay, two-step equations. So again, that process is described here. Make sure we can see that. I guess it's in front of me if I look. Brain's not working too good today. All right, so again, the process that we're going to go through here is we are going to do all the addition and subtraction first. So we're going to remove the constant term, and then we have to undo multiplication and division. So that's the two-step process that we're going to go through. So I want to move constants first, and then I'm going to work with variables later. So 6x is my variable term, 8 is my constant, as well as 50. So I want to get my constants together. So this is a positive 8, so we're going to undo that by doing a negative 8. So we're going to put negative 8 on both sides. We got 6x is equal to 42. X is going to be 7. Oops, don't want to shortchange you this step. X is equal to 7. Okay, so second verse, same as the first. We got a negative 5, so that means we're going to add 5 and add 5. So that means those are going to cancel. We're left with a 2n on the left, and 11 plus 5 is 16 on the right. We're going to divide that 2 out of there and find out that n is equal to 8. And I will be the first to admit I make mistakes when I do these. So if I'm rolling through and you think something's wrong, make sure you holler at me. Because I could have easily added 2 numbers or divided wrong or done something. Or added when I should have subtracted. Again, it's that process of isolating the variable. We want to isolate the negative 4k, so that means I want to remove the constant to the other side. In order to do that, we're going to subtract it over. So 13 minus 9 gives me a 4, and I'm left with the negative 4k. We're going to divide out the negative 4 and get a negative 1 is equal to k. And our last one, we're going to subtract the 7, we get negative 3y is equal to a, see, my brain just stopped for a second, 27. Again, it's that undoing of operations. I'm taking -3 times y, so to undo the multiplication, we're going to divide by -3. So y is -9. All right, how are we doing? Hopefully this is, I mean, I don't want to say hopefully I'm boring you to death, but hopefully this isn't anything that you couldn't have done already. All righty. Tell you what, why don't you do 13 real fast, and then I will come in and flash down the answer. We'll see how you do on your own first. So try to do 13 on your own. I'm going to tell you we're going to add 7 first. All right. So we're going to add 7 to both sides to get x over 2 is equal to a 16. We are dividing by 2, so that means we multiply by 2, and finally we get x is equal to 32. Like your eye, how many of us got that? Okay. We'll move on for another one. Again, so we have to look at the process. The process is still the same. Okay, we're always going to look at our constants first. We have to get that constant moved to the other side, and then we have to deal with the variable. So I have to recognize that this is my variable term. I'm going to get rid of the positive 8. The opposite of positive 8 is a negative 8, and we're going to move it to the other side as a negative 8. I'm going to get 3 is equal to c over negative 5. We're going to get c is equal to a negative 15. Because I'm skipping steps on you. We're going to multiply by a negative 5. We're going to multiply by a negative 5. And we're going to get negative 15 is equal to c. Okay. Again, I don't say it's repetitive in nature, but again, practice. We don't sometimes. Even my son struggles. My daughter struggles with this as far as in practicing the piano. You just don't sit down and start playing notes. It just doesn't work that way. You got to start with the basics and then learn where the notes are, and then learn how to play them in order as far as notes on the page. So the same thing kind of works here. We just have to learn the process, and the more we practice the process, the easier it's going to get. So we're going to isolate the variable term, which is 3/5 x. We're going to subtract the 22 to the other side, so that means that 3/5 x is going to equal 6. And now we're doing exactly what we did on the front page. We have to use that reciprocal thingy-mabob again. So we're going to multiply by the reciprocal of 5/3. That 3 goes into the 6 twice, so 2 times 5 is 10. Okay. Again, the process and just the different the different things that happen in the process. We're going to subtract the 1 because I have a positive 1. We're going to subtract the 1. Negative 1/3 m is going to be what's left on the left-hand side. we get a -8. So again, reciprocal wise. Jordan, you have an idea what that reciprocal is? You know what reciprocal we're going to use here? Do you got a shot at it? Go, Eli. There it is. It's negative, so we're going to have to use a negative. We're going to flip the 3. It's 1 over 3, so that means we're going to go with 3 over 1. So that means we're going to multiply by -3 over 1. So cancel, cancel. We have m is equal to, it's like a positive 24 when we do that. Jack, you know what our first step is on the next one? Plus 10. Joe, you know our reciprocal? It is 4 over 7. Oh, I didn't tell you, so you know, we have third lunch in this room. Kyle, what's step number 1? On here on C18. It's all right if you don't know, it's fine. Isaiah, do you know what our first step is here on 18? It is yes, we're going to treat that as a -1/2, true, but so that's my variable term. So I want to get rid of my constant terms. I need to do something with a 9. What should we do with it? Okay, well, it's 9 already. It's a positive 9 already, so we want to do the exact opposite of it. Yeah, and we want to make it -9. There you go. All right, so our reciprocal is going to be -2 over 1, -2 over 1, and so -12 is equal to x. All right, what time is our little bit of heaven over with today? This is third month classes for 1100 to 1251. Got plenty of time. Oh. Okay. All right, so we have one more style of problem to work with today, and then we'll work on our assignment stuff, okay? work on getting it done. So what's going to happen is I'm going to take a grade on your filling out your note packet. So that'll be easy today. You're here, you'll fill it out as you go. But when we get to be on Fridays, you're going to have to watch the video online and to fill out the note packet, or if you can just fill it out. I may just put it in PDF form and you can copy it from that. I don't know. I got to decide what I'm going to do. So now here we have a little bit different. Usually we've always moved a constant over, but right now this constant is being divided by 8. And so we have to work this one a little bit different, okay? The examples below are different in the fact that we're going to do multiplication / division, multiplication first, and then we're going to do the addition and subtraction, meaning my variable is being divided by 8, but my constant is also being divided by 8. So my very first step here is going to be to multiply by 8. So that way we can get rid of it, okay? So that means those 8s are going to cancel. We have x plus 11. Negative 3 times 8 is going to give me that negative 24. And now we're back to a one-step solution. We're going to subtract 11, and find out that x is equal to a negative 35. Okay. Again, it's understanding the difference. It's a different style of problem. We just have to recognize when we see it. I'm taking the entire left side is being divided by negative 2. So I have to undo that first. So since I'm dividing by negative 2, we have to multiply by the negative 2. My negative 2's are going to cancel. We have n minus 5 is equal to a positive 14. When I take a negative times a negative, that's a positive. 7 times 2 is 14. We're going to add 5 and add 5, so that means that n is equal to 19. Again, this is a lot of repetition here because this is a lot of practice. Same thing, except this time the entire right side. I guess I could scroll that up so you could see it. How about that? Okay, my entire right side is being divided by negative 6. So we're going to get rid of that my variable. Again, it's all a process of isolating the variable. We want to get it by itself. It's got a negative 13, it's got a minus 13 attached to it, and it's going to divide by negative 6. So we're going to actually get rid of the division first this time. So we're going to multiply by negative 6, and we're going to multiply by negative 6. Negative 6 is equal to a minus 13, as those negative 6's cancel. We're going to add this 13 over. So 7 is equal to a. And our last note problem here, we're going to multiply by 9. The 9's cancel. We have w plus 8. We have 36. When we take 9 times 4, we're going to subtract the 8 over. All right, so we're going to do this maze as far as, I don't say together in class, but this is I'm going to give us 15, 20 minutes to work on the maze. And then, to get us, so here's how it works. So we have to start, we have to end over here, and we just have to follow it in order. So again, if we're going to solve this, Eli, what's your first step? Yeah, for the start box. we are going to subtract 10. So we get 4x is equal to a negative 36. Then what are we going to do, Jack? Close. Yeah, we're going to divide that 4 out of there. Get x is equal to negative 9. So, so use your solutions to navigate through the puzzle. Show all steps. So where are we going to go next? So now we're going to go to 1/2 x plus 13 equals 9. And we'll try this. I'm going to pause the video, so if you're watching this, we were working on that in class for a while. I don't know how long you can pause. We'll find out. Okay, so I'm going to finish up the video online here. So I'm going to quickly flash up the key. This is where you hopefully should have ended up at as far as even if you want to follow the numbers. But we got negative 9, which took us to this one. As we worked this problem, we got negative 8, which moved us up. 15 moved us over. Negative 13 moved us over. And again, we're just following that path as we go down. Negative 4 took us here. 5 moved us left. 6 moved us left. We come down here to this one, and actually I'll point something out on this one. If we subtract the 5 and subtract the 5, that negative sign is going to stay with the x. So we didn't cover one like this in our notes, but we cannot leave a variable with a negative answer there. So that's why we changed the signs to get x is equal to negative 7. Okay, and then we move on. That negative 7 caused us to that problem, and we made it to the end. So I just wanted to point those out. If you're watching this video online, do I just want to post this online? I think I'll just post it online, but I gave you answers too, so I guess now you can just pause the video if you want. But I gave you answers to all the homework, so when we grade this, I'll just be grading it that you gave me effort and work to get to those answers. But all right, that's 27 minutes of your life that you won't get back, but hopefully you got some notes out of it, so we're good.